Hello, everyone. Today I want to share with you an important truth that every man needs to understand in order to build respect from women immediately. During my research on female psychology and the factors that drive attraction, I came across a saying that made me rethink everything. At first, she never imagined it would turn out this way. She convinced herself that your absence was insignificant, that life would go on as usual, and that she wouldn't even notice you were gone. She believed that after a month, your name wouldn't even cross her mind. Welcome to my channel, Philosophy of Stoicism. But now, she's facing a realization she never anticipated. Silence has a way of shifting everything. In the beginning, it felt like a short break, a pause, an opportunity to breathe, explore, and embrace freedom. What she didn't expect was how quickly your absence started feeling permanent. She assumed you'd check in, that after a few days, you'd give in, that eventually you'd find your way back into her world. But with each passing day, a new emotion creeps in: uncertainty. She keeps telling herself she's fine, but then the small things start to unravel her composure. She picks up her phone out of habit, expecting to see a message from you, but there's nothing. She scrolls through old conversations, searching for comfort in the past, only to realize it doesn't bring the reassurance she expected. She posts something, hoping you'll notice, hoping for a reaction, but you don't. And suddenly, the weight of your absence is something she can no longer ignore. She had always taken your presence for granted. But now, the emptiness left behind is something she can't escape. The more time passes, the more she begins to question everything. Did she make a mistake? 'Cause this time, you're not chasing, you're not waiting, you're not breaking the silence. And that's what's making her question everything. The unraveling begins. She tries to brush it off, convincing herself she's just overthinking, that she's only noticing your absence because it's unfamiliar, not because it truly matters. But the longer the silence lingers, the more unbearable it becomes. Before, she always knew how this game worked. If she pulled away, you reached out. If she ignored your messages, you sent another. If she played hard to get, you pursued her even harder. But now you've disappeared, and that's what's making her panic. At first it was just a fleeting thought, a moment of curiosity, a glance at old messages, but it's turning into an obsession. She checks her notifications more often than usual. She scrolls through social media, searching for any sign of you. She pays attention to who's watching her stories, hoping, just hoping, you're still lingering in the background. And every time she realizes you're not there, the sting deepens. Now she's confronting a truth she wasn't ready for. You're doing just fine without her. That's a reality she never prepared for. At first, she tells herself you're just busy, that you're proving a point, that you're playing a game. But the longer this goes on, the harder it becomes to ignore the most terrifying possibility. What if you've moved on? What if you're not coming back? What if she was never as irreplaceable as she thought? What if she was never the one in control after all? If you're ready to claim your silent confidence, hit like, subscribe, and comment. Claim my space below. Let's continue this journey together now. Let's begin. The moment that thought takes hold, it refuses to let go. Her confidence wavers. Doubt turns to regret. She never thought she'd be the one stuck in this endless loop of wondering. She told herself this was temporary, that you were sulking, waiting for her to return. Any moment now, you'd cave. But now she isn't so sure. Because as time stretches on, nothing is unfolding the way she expected. You're not checking in. You're not reacting. You're not leaving hints that you're still watching. And that's when the fear truly settles in. She was never prepared for the idea that you might actually be done. She tries to distract herself, surrounding herself with people, filling her schedule, going out more. She posts pictures she wouldn't normally post, trying to send a silent message. She entertains new attention, but none of it feels the same. Because before, it was effortless. Before, she was in control. Before, she dictated how things played out. But now nothing she does seems to affect you. And that's what's making her second-guess everything. She told herself you were replaceable, that there would always be someone else, someone better. But now, she's not so sure. What if she was wrong? What if in testing the waters, she let go of the only man who was different? And the second that thought enters her mind, it changes everything. Now she's not just missing you, she's regretting letting you go. She thought time was on her side, but for the first time, she's realizing it might not be. She assumed this was just a waiting game, that eventually something would shift, that things would return to how they once were. But the more she waits, the more she sees the harsh reality. Nothing is happening, no movement, no cracks in the silence, no proof that you're still affected. And that's what's making her panic like never before. Now the choice is hers. Keep waiting, hoping you'll break first, hoping for validation, or take the risk herself. But that's when the fear really grips her. What if it's too late? What if you've moved on? What if you're not interested anymore? What if she finally reaches out, only to be met with cold indifference? She never thought she'd be in this position, the one filled with doubt, uncertainty, and fear. But now she's questioning everything. Did she play this wrong? Did she push too far? Did she ruin her own chances? She replays memories in her mind, searching for a way back in. She types messages, hesitates, deletes them. Before it was easy, before she knew exactly where she stood with you. But now she has no idea if she still matters to you at all. And that's what's breaking her. She expected you to give in, but you haven't. And now she's the one feeling like she's running out of time. The moment she realizes she might have lost you for good, panic sets in. She knows she has to do something, but for the first time, she isn't sure what. Before, it was effortless. She could send a text, make a call, or post something subtle to get your attention, and you would always respond. But now there's no certainty, and that changes everything. She begins overanalyzing every possible way to reconnect. Should she send a casual "hey" as if nothing happened? Should she fabricate a reason to reach out, something neutral, something safe? Or should she just admit her mistake and lay bare the regret that has been consuming her? She doesn't know, and that lack of control unsettles her. Because the more time that passes, the more she feels the grip she once had slipping away. For the first time, she feels pressure. She always believed she had time, that she could return whenever she pleased, and you'd still be there. But now she isn't so sure. Desperation takes hold, and she starts crafting messages. I saw something that reminded me of you. Hope you're doing okay. I just realized I never gave you back that one thing. Each message is carefully composed to appear effortless, but in reality, nothing about this is effortless anymore. If you're ready to claim your silent confidence, hit like, subscribe, and comment. Claim my space below. Let's continue this journey together now. Let's begin. This isn't about missing you, or checking in, or being friendly. She needs to know. Do you still care? And the scariest part, she has no idea if she can handle the answer, because deep down, she understands the risk. If she reaches out and your response is cold, distant, or indifferent, she'll have to confront the one truth she's been running from. Maybe you're already gone. Her finger hovers over the send button, hesitation creeping in. Something inside her warns her to stop because this time feels different. Before, she could reach out and be certain you'd be there, waiting, eager to pick up where things left off. But that version of you no longer exists. Now she has no idea how you'll respond. And for the first time, she's the one feeling vulnerable. She was always certain of her place in your life. She assumed that no matter how much she distanced herself, no matter how many games she played, you would always care. But now, there's an unsettling shift. What if you've changed? What if, while she was out exploring other options, enjoying the attention of others, and assuming you'd always be there, you were evolving into someone she no longer had control over? The thought terrifies her. Then, an even more jarring realization hits. You're not just some guy who chased her. You weren't like the others who accepted crumbs, who remained an option in the background. You were different. You offered her something more than attention. You brought stability, depth, and presence. And now she can see the contrast. The men who once seemed exciting now feel shallow. The attention she used to thrive on feels meaningless. The power she thought she had, an illusion. And with that, regret begins to take hold. This silence isn't just a test anymore. It's reality. And she has no idea if she can undo it. She thought you were replaceable, that she could walk away without a second thought. But now, she's realizing she was never the one in control. And when that truth finally settles in, she experiences a kind of regret that doesn't fade. She once reassured herself that time was on her side, that if she waited long enough, you would eventually break the silence. But you didn't. No late-night messages, no subtle hints, no signs of you lingering in the background. And that's when it dawns on her. This isn't a game anymore. She miscalculated everything. She believed she could take her time, enjoy her freedom, explore her options, and that you would always be there. But now, she's the one feeling powerless. She replays different scenarios in her head. What if I casually reach out? What if I bump into him? What if I just admit I made a mistake? But no scenario guarantees she'll get what she wants. She assumed that if she ever came back, you'd be thrilled to hear from her, eager to pick things up where they left off. But now, she's faced with the terrifying reality. What if you don't care anymore? This is a rejection she's never had to experience before. It's one thing to have a man chase her and lose interest once she pulls away, but to lose a man who never needed her validation in the first place. That's something she wasn't prepared for. She thought she held all the power because she believed she was irreplaceable. But now, she sees the truth. She was only irreplaceable to the version of you who still cared. And that version no longer exists. Panic reaches its peak. She wants to fix things, but she doesn't know how. She starts typing a message, hesitates, deletes it. She rewrites it, overthinking every word. She wonders if she should send something casual or just admit she messed up. But deep down, she knows the truth. The moment she stopped being a priority to you, the real power shift happened. The second you stopped waiting for her, She became the one feeling the loss. And now, she's living with the same feeling she once made you experience. The difference? For her, this loss might be permanent. She thought she had control, but in the end, she was the one being tested. She believed she had endless options, but in reality, she walked away from the one man who truly saw her, valued her, and wanted her. She wanted to see how far she could push you before you broke, but instead you showed her something she never expected. You don't break, you evolve. This video is for informational and inspirational purposes only. It does not constitute professional advice, medical guidance, or psychological counseling. And that is what truly scares her, because now you're not looking back, you're not waiting, you're not reacting. And for the first time, she understands. This isn't just a lesson, it's a loss, one she might never recover from.